If we don't believe in freedom of expression for people we despise, we don't believe in it at all. The whole educational and professional training system is a very elaborate filter, which just weeds out people who are too independent, and who think for themselves, and who don't know how to be submissive, and so on, because they're dysfunctional to the institutions. The smart way to keep people passive and obedient is to strictly limit the spectrum of acceptable opinion, but allow very lively debate within that spectrum. Optimism is a strategy for making a better future, because unless you believe that the future can be better, you are unlikely to step up and take responsibility for making it so. I was never aware of any other option but to question everything.
Everyone's worried about stopping terrorism. Well, there's really an easy way: stop participating in it.
All over the place, from the popular culture to the propaganda system, there is constant pressure to make people feel that they are helpless, that the only role they can have is to ratify decisions and to consume. Education is a system of imposed ignorance. For the powerful, crimes are those that others commit.
If you assume that there is no hope, you guarantee that there will be no hope. If you assume that there is an instinct for freedom, that there are opportunities to change things, then there is a possibility that you can contribute to making a better world. It is the responsibility of intellectuals to speak the truth and expose lies.
I think it only makes sense to seek out and identify structures of authority, hierarchy, and domination in every aspect of life, and to challenge them. Unless a justification for them can be given, they are illegitimate, and should be dismantled, to increase the scope of human freedom. It's not radical Islam that worries the US, it's independence. Either you repeat the same conventional doctrines that everybody else is saying, or else you say something which in fact is true, and it will sound like it's from Neptune. We shouldn't be looking for heroes, we should be looking for good ideas. That is what I have always understood to be the essence of anarchism. The conviction that the burden of proof has to be placed on authority, and that it should be dismantled if that burden cannot be met. How it is we have so much information, but know so little. People with power understand exactly one thing: violence. It is quite possible, overwhelmingly probable, one might guess, that we will always learn more about human life and personality from novels than from scientific psychology. Neoliberal democracy. Instead of citizens, it produces consumers. Instead of communities, it produces shopping malls. The net result is an atomized society of disengaged individuals who feel demoralized and socially powerless. In sum, neoliberalism is the immediate and foremost enemy of genuine participatory democracy, not just in the United States but across the planet, and will be for the foreseeable future. The Bible is probably the most genocidal book in the literary canon. Do you train for passing tests, or do you train for creative inquiry? Responsibility, I believe, accrues through privilege. People like you and me have an unbelievable amount of privilege, and therefore we have a huge amount of responsibility. We live in free societies where we are not afraid of the police. We have extraordinary wealth available to us by global standards. If you have those things, then you have the kind of responsibility that a person does not have if he or she is slaving 70 hours a week to put food on the table. A responsibility at the very least to inform yourself about power. Beyond that, it is a question of whether you believe in moral certainties or not. It is important to bear in mind that political campaigns are designed by the same people who sell toothpaste and cars. Science is a bit like the joke about the drunk who is looking under a lamppost for a key that he has lost on the other side of the street, because that's where the light is. It has no other choice.